Alright, Star Wars fans, why should you read Shadows of the Sith? Now, there is a very good explanation for this, and I don't know what you've heard about this book. Oh, it tries to make the sequels look better. Oh, it really makes Luke look stupid. Oh, blabbity bloobity bloobity blah. I don't care what you've heard. I'm gonna tell you how it is, and you're gonna listen. What's up, guys? Mike, your guy, I love Star Wars here. Today we're talking about Shadow of the Sith, a new Star Wars novel that just came out just a few months ago, and I have gotten around to finally reading it, and it is awesome. Now, it seems like online, the people who haven't even read the book yet are just calling it a sequel book. They're calling it, trying to make the sequels look good. They're calling it whatever they want to just bring it down. Now, I couldn't disagree with this more. Yes, Star Wars canon does involve the sequel trilogy, but as a lot of fans have pointed out, the sequel trilogy from The Force Awakens to the end of Rise of Skywalker is about a year and a half to 2 years. So, in the galaxy, a lot can happen in those 2 years that don't involve the sequel characters, but also, just 2 years in a whole entire galaxy is a very short amount of time. Not to mention the giant gap between Return of the Jedi and The Force Awakens that is already being filled with The Mandalorian and a lot of awesome stuff. I mean, The Mandalorian's good. Can we not deny? Look at this guy. The Mandalorian's good. So as they add on to this Mandalorian timeline with the Ahsoka show and the Skeleton Crew, which is coming out soon, hopefully, because that sounds awesome with Jude Law. But as they're adding on to this Mando timeline, they are adding more stuff into this giant gap between The Force Awakens and Return of the Jedi, and this Shadow of the Sith does fall in that category. It falls about 16 to 17-ish years after the Battle of Endor, so it is in that Mando timeline, but Mando kind of takes place about 6 years after the Battle of Endor, so this is really like 10 to 12 to 15 years after the Mandalorian. Luke's got a beard, he's older, he's got his Jedi Temple. Ben Solo is at that Jedi Temple, but he's not that old yet, he's probably like 14 or 15. And you have Lando Calrissian, who's a little bit older. He's still got the mustache. He's still got the slicked back hair. He's still wearing capes and all that fun stuff. And you got bounty hunters. And you got Siths. And you got Palpatine's presence in the background. You got Exegol. All the good stuff from the sequels are brought into this book. And all the bad stuff seems to just be pushed to the side. But what's quickly become one of my favorite characters just off this book, and I kind of liked him in The Rise of Skywalker, is Ochi of Bastoon. He's a bounty hunter, and he did exist in the Clone Wars era all the way up to the sequels. And we do find out in the sequels that he dies trying to find Rey and trying to get to Exegol, and he has this dagger that's so conveniently to the plot of the movie. They just find this dagger, and it shows them to the Wayfinder and on the wreckage of the Death Star, and don't even get me started on the sequels because the plot of it is stupid. I'm just kidding. If you like the sequels, I didn't mean it, but I really kind of did mean it because, it did. But I've always been an advocate of saying that stuff added on in the Mando timeline and even after the sequels could make the sequels a lot better. I have been an advocate of that, so I do believe that could be the case. And Shadow of the Sith really pushed me even closer to that because of some of the awesome stuff that happens in the book and how awesome Luke is in the book and how awesome Lando is in the book. I think there's a lot of stories. Like, even look at the Book of Boba Fett, when we had the episode where Luke was training Grogu. Legendary. You saw the start of Luke Skywalker's Jedi Temple. I mean, some awesome stuff can still happen in this timeline before the sequel trilogy. And not that it will make the sequel trilogy better, but it will make us understand the plot a little better. And there were some good things about the sequel trilogy. Look at Kylo Ren. He is one of the coolest characters in Star Wars. Of course, you got Babu Frick, who's one of the coolest characters in all of Star Wars. Ochi of Bastoon, whose droid, by the way, is Dio. There's a lot more stuff in the Shadows of the Sith about that. But definitely go read this book. That is my one goal with this video, is go read this book. Go read it. If you have Audible, it is awesome. The way they do these Star Wars books on Audible, they have special effects, they have music, they have voice acting. It's so good. And it's like, if you close your eyes, you can picture all of it, and it's like you're watching a Star Wars movie. It is really cool because it has Luke Skywalker at his Jedi Temple. He leaves it to go on some missions. He's studying Sith artifacts. He's going to Titan, sitting on the Seeing Stone. I'm trying not to spoil it all while spoiling a little bit of the beginning of it, but you literally see a Force Ghost Anakin Skywalker. Whoops. Got a little bit ahead of myself, but you do see a Force Ghost Anakin Skywalker. It is awesome. If you are hesitant of of going to read this book, you got bounty hunters, you got Lando Calrissian, you got Luke Skywalker, Force Ghost Anakin Skywalker. It just doesn't get more Star Wars than this. So if you're hesitant on reading Shadows of the Sith, I'm going to have a lot of videos covering this book. But if you're hesitant on trying to buy this book or just listening to it on Audible, do it. It is good. It is really good. And if you like Star Wars, it is a very Star Wars story. And if you hear people telling you that it's just, trying to fix the sequels, it's not that good, blah, 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 tell them to shut up. Tell them to get out and shut up. Because, come on, guys. The sequels are canon. They're going to remain canon. So let's kind of just go along with it. We know the sequels weren't that good. We knew The Last Jedi ruined Luke Skywalker forever. But I think that we could still get some good Star Wars content in between Return of the Jedi and The Force Awakens that will make the sequels better. Make Kylo Ren better. Make Rey better. Make Poe Dameron better. Make the First Order better. Make Snoke better. Make Palpatine's return better. There is a lot of things that can happen that make the sequels better. And yes, the Shadows of the Sith do reference Palpatine a few times, and the Sith presence, the Sith Eternal, and Exegol are awesome in it, and it already makes me like the Rise of Skywalker better, like Exegol better, like Palpatine's return better. But if you're going back and forth on whether or not to read this book, do it. It's good. It's really good. And if I'm wrong and you hate it, come back to this video and tell me in the comments below. Because if you don't like this book, I seriously think you need to get your brain checked, because it is such a good book. But go read the book and tell me what you think in the comments below about the book. If you've already read the book, tell me what you think in the comments below about the book. And smash like if you like this video, hit subscribe, and hit that bell so you get notified every time I post a video. And my pretty face will show up in the recommended feed of yours, especially if you like the book, because I will be covering the book a lot in my future videos. With Andor getting delayed, I have more time to talk about Shadows of the Sith, so it's going to be a lot of fun talking about this novel. And of course, if you want to talk Star Wars with some Star Wars nerdy people, there is a link in the description below to a Discord called The People Who Love Star Wars. And may the Force be with you. Always.